Hello, everybody. I want to talk about speaking the truth to people. If you are psychic and spiritual, you will probably get the truth. Sometimes the truth is hard, the truth isn't wonderful. How people think the truth is wonderful. And I want to talk to you about speaking the truth in two ways. One, to speak the truth through your heart. Don't ever speak the truth through your liver. If you speak through your liver, it will always be bad. It will sound caustic, it will have a poison to it, the way you speak to people. Whether you get it on a human level or you get it on a spiritual level, psychic level, always speak through your heart and make a conscious effort to speak it through your heart. What we do and how we send our vibration out is more than we realise, particularly if we're intuitives, because people do trust us and they know that we're probably going to get it right, which they like and also scares them. Therefore, when you are talking to people and they ask you the truth, you really need to make sure you're not angry about what you're about to say. For example, if the truth is that you picked up their partner is having an affair, you will have some anger towards that partner, and that can be relayed when you tell them the truth, however you want to say the truth. I haven't always told people that other people are having an affair. Sometimes I've asked Spirit and I've been told to be quiet. I've just focused on working on your relationship, maybe shoring it up, making it closer, because for whatever reason, maybe they weren't ready to hear it. Perhaps it was dangerous to say anything at this time. I was guided not to tell them. Some people will actually ask you directly if you're not sure, or you have a feeling of not wanting to say it because you don't feel it's the right time. Do not say it. There's a lot going on spiritually that we don't understand, and that's why it could be possibly that person needs to come and fess up. The person needs to come and speak the truth from their own self, not from being forced by being told, the other person's being told, and then they're haranguing and harassing them and screaming at them because the reader said this. Just be careful with these things. The other thing is too, if you think someone's going to pass and you know this is going to happen, but you think perhaps it's not such a good thing to say anything because you can't change the outcome, and sometimes Spirit will change the outcome. I've known people who I've picked up were going to pass and then they decided to stay for different reasons. So I would have put that person through unnecessary pain. What you can do is say their energy's low, and I think you should right now, and I think you should see them more and contact them more and spend more time with them, because we never know what's going to happen. That's how you tell the kind truth. That's how you tell the good truth. It's coming through your heart. The next thing is to talk about the kind truth. It's the way you tell them, and usually you are going through your heart, but keep in mind to tell the kind truth. There's ways to tell the truth, even when you're coming through your heart, and that can be harsh for people to hear and difficult for them to hear. So tell them the kind truth. Tell them in a kind way, in a gentle way, and don't bombard them. People know on some levels it's true, but they need time to access it, and you need to do it in a softer way. Kind truth is better. I remember once I had a friend and she put on this dress. I didn't really like the dress on her, but she was so in love with this dress. She thought it was wonderful, and she said she loved it and made her feel great. Instead of spoiling it for her, I just said, I love the colour. It's a beautiful colour on you. She didn't need to hear the truth, of my truth, because it was just going to spoil everything. And if she felt wonderful in it and she thought she looked great, that was all that matters. And the colour did look lovely on her. Once you start telling the kind truth, you'll find you hesitate and say it in a different way, a much nicer way, a way that won't hurt people, a way that they can actually also access it. Because when you come on that channel of love and kindness through your heart, people access it better than, otherwise. I've had people come back to me and say, you knew my dad was going to go, or you knew this was going to happen. And I said, yes, but I was guided to see what happened, because he could have made a different choice and stayed, and you would have suffered for months or years unnecessarily. And it was his choice, it was between him and his God. Make sure that you try and do this from now on, the kind truth. We are humans, and we don't want to be so kind. So I wouldn't tell the truth when you're really mad or really angry, because it will come through the liver. And then sometimes you can't take those words back. It can be very damaging for your relationship. And long term, if you want to keep the relationship, it wasn't really worth it. And that's the other thing. Sometimes you just need to shut up, be quiet. I often be quiet because I think this isn't my stuff, this is your stuff, and this is your lesson, not my lesson, and it's not up to me to put a light on it right now because you're not going to want to see it and you don't want to go there. It's very important, the section I'm talking to you about, because it can make or break relationships. I've had people who said to me they wanted to hear the truth, and I said I don't think you'll like it, and I didn't want to tell them. And it was earlier in my workings in this field. But no, they hassled me, and I told them, and I actually did it in a kind way and through my heart, and then they ended the relationship. So I learned the hard way. People think they want to hear it, but they don't really want to hear it. Your intuition will always tell you if you have a hesitation, just leave it. It might be the timing too. Sometimes people aren't quite ready for that, but maybe later on they are. Sometimes they're never ready for that. It's something you have to decide, but it's something you really need to consider. Because I think if you're listening to these podcasts, you're very intuitive, so you're going to be getting stuff all the time, and it's whether to deliver or not, and how to deliver, and only you can decide that. I always consider the other person first, not what I want to say, whether they're ready. And that question of yes or no, I always ask her, am I supposed to say this? Are they ready? Not, are they telling me they're ready? Are they ready? I'll get yes or I'll get a no. And that's where I go from. And then I go through my heart and say it in the kindest way that I can possibly say.